Hi, friends. Come on in. It's Tuesday. Look, my phone has just been ding, ding, ding. Let me make sure I have that turned off. How are y'all doing? Come on in the room. You know what? How are you doing? Let's check in with one another. I heard this person say on a reel today, what was it? She said Tuesday is the new Monday. I feel like that some weeks. Seriously, I do. Welcome in. Thank you for being here, soul family. Over here, it is not a monetized space. It's just set with the intention that we teach, that we share, that we learn, we channel, we grow together. Um, and yeah, thanks for being here. Click subscribe. Click the like if you receive something in the messages and the energy, in a visual, in a photo, in channeled information, or maybe you learned something. Let's get some Palo Santo. Because y'all, it's thick out there. Y'all, the astrals? What? I mean, I was talking with a friend, and like, I get it, right? I get it, and I understand how everything is washing out for real. And there's a part of me that you know what? Look, let me swing back because just look, I got coffee in hand, and you already know when we sit down and we tap in, spirit is ready to go, and I'm going to be channeling and yeah, all that to say, I'm always going to reiterate in the age of Aquarius while Pluto is in Aquarius and all this liquidation and all these washouts to rebirth new timelines. This is the energy. And we're out of the age of Pisces. We are in the age of Aquarius. And that means no one's coming to save us. You know what I mean? Could we debate? Did we have an era? Did we have a time full of beautiful prophets and teachers and the like? In which, in fact, spirits reminding me, they're still with us. They're in our DNA. They're in the collective energy. We are, still North Node in Pisces, being ever reminded, regardless of the water trines and the deep, dark depths, and this work, that we soul contracted to be incarnate at this time to do. All of that is still with us, and it's beautiful. Everything is happening exactly as it should. I'm hearing all is well, all shall be well. But what I always try to reiterate on this channel, I don't really, I look at the numbers. It's fun. It's not a monetary game over here. I do have a practice where I read birth charts, natal charts. I teach, I do tarot, I make candles. But I do everything because I love it. And I hold space over here because, like, in the age of Aquarius, you guys, this is also super Sagittarian for us to be talking about that while I load the chart. We got all them Sagittarius vibrations in the collective energy, and don't we need it? Goodness gracious. Pour a mutable bucket of beautiful prismatic, Sagittarian galactic energy on me. Like, I'll take that right now. But listen, what I'm trying to say is you need your collective. It's a group effort. It's a family effort. And the thing about Aquarian energy, and y'all know it's Aquarius stellium over here, honey. I also ride with my fire sign, gang, okay, Leo rising, amongst other placements. But, oh, you know what? Yes, that Mars and Sag, and now that, pretty soon, Mercury will join that frequency. In a little while, Venus already has. But listen, you see what I'm saying? Spirit won't even let me be, you know what? Gratitude. Spirit said, you better rephrase. I'm thankful that I get to enjoy the experience of sitting down and channeling and bringing through energies. And I love it. But the point is that you got to find your collective. And Aquarian frequency is for the community, is for the humanitarian collective. on the whole. Now, I know y'all gonna bust us. Look, we all have a shadow side. I won't even say it's shadowed. I think people get the impression Aquarius, like, they don't need anybody. Aquarius just disappears, and it's a compassionate detachment. And it's not to devalue anything. It's just that we detach, and we're very independent. We move with the whims of the frequencies of energy. But listen, I'm trying to say that I'm thankful that you're in my soul family. We each all have soul families that we incarnate to reconnect with, be that in the physical, in the 5D, 4D, 5D, wherever the case may be. Spiritually, I joke with my friends all the time in my soul family. I'm like, let's sit down, all my aunties and my mama teas and all y'all out there. We joke, we say we sit down and have coffee in the astrals, you know what I'm saying? But whatever way you go about it, it's so important that you find your tribe, your collective, because it's all hands on deck. And that's the only way it goes forward. And you know how it is when you're, I'm hearing blended family. That's what it is like in a soul family. And we just always want to have compassion when we're connecting with each other. We're helping each other. The point of Aquarius is, though, it's not about likes. It's not about all the, for me, it's not. I'm not a judgment of no one else. You do you. You know what I'm saying? You have your own path. But that's not what mine is for. So I appreciate when you click like, I mean, it just circulates our soul family's like frequency together. And it puts us in alignment with other people who want to connect, who need to connect to a similar frequency, right? Uranus, that's child. Uranus and Taurus, I'm sorry. Uranus and Taurus reminds us that we will find new grounding, new roots, new longevity, new sustainability in unexpected places, right? And in the age of Aquarius, I'm going to tell you, I hope you hear it. Sometimes you think it and you think of me. Pluto in Aquarius trumps the board. Okay. And all of this liquidation of frequency, of energy, of access, of information, of everything's going to float up. It's going to liquidate. It's going to redisperse. The end goal is alignment, it's hope, it's healing. When you pull the star card, when you see Aquarius frequency or an Aquarius has come in your life or whatever the case may be, you got a star that's reminding you, this is true north, you're doing good, we're going to keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? But we have to do that for each other. So I am thankful. Sometimes we just get right into it and I don't take time, but I really am thankful for you guys. And, it always amazes me when we share and connect. I really do believe that it's a special form of grid working. Maybe you want to call that light working. When we share and connect in synchronicity, and I speak and I channel and we share cards and I say something, and somebody's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I can't believe you said. And then I saw that cardinal and so said this to me, but that was wild because I had just saw those numbers you talked about. We're connecting the frequential, the frequency, the frequential vibration helps us to ascend and heal and grow together. And it's a form of grid work. It's a form of that, OG mission of locking a few more of those little pieces of the light puzzles together. It's another way to think about grid work. So thank you for being here. When you click subscribe, if you want to, go for it. Follow your own intuition. Child, I got 4 Aquarius placements. I ain't never going to beg nobody for that. It ain't in me. But I believe in alignment. So, yeah. Click subscribe if you want to know when I'm usually here a few times a week. I'm almost always here on the new moon and the full moon. I have full moon groups and like certain groups that I attend to at certain times of the month that like pre-book the whole year. So I get here as much as I can. We're in the beautiful holiday season as we approach. In 2 days, we'll have a full moon. And then before you know it, golly, y'all, hasn't not been the year of before you know it, we'll be here. I think our energetic bodies, emotional bodies and such, our auras and the water, I don't really know how to articulate it best, but we're evolving. I think Molly McCord talks about this a lot. You know, I love her, but it's like we're experiencing time differently. We are in a lot of water trines still, in a lot of deep water. We're still, looking at Saturn and Neptune there in the last decan, Neptune at the anuritic degree, still in retrograde, right? We still have Scorpion energy on the board. We still have Jupiter in Cancer. We still have North Node in Pisces. So we're in the water. That makes sense a little bit while time feels a little slippery. Sometimes it's like hours go on, and then sometimes, boom, a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a season changing on the wheel of the year. It just goes by, So I feel like I was going to say, before you know it, we'll be at the winter solstice, and it's just been that way. I mean, my gosh, I'm like, how are we just plugging on through Sagittarius season? So here we are. I will issue my own, encouragement aside from channeling, but I know it comes through anyway, and it's coming through across. Like, I love fellow tarot readers that are close to my heart that I followed for years and years. My teachers, my astrologists, energy channelers, Lee Harris, Pam Gregory. I love my people. And it's a frequent, repetitive message in the collective energy, is that take time to slow down, to put your hand over your heart and say, it's really beautiful how you can be present so that you can listen to spirit, your team, your guides, you and your higher self, right? Higher dimensional versions of yourself. Maybe we could call those future versions. Who knows, if you want to play with those analogies. But don't, Lord child, not me talking about don't overbook yourself. Because Aquarius frequency, like, I just love to help. Speaking of the age of Aquarius, though, one thing that crossed my mind was I am, as is Aquarius collective, Aquarius archetypal energy is co-ruled by Saturn, and while Aquarian frequency is like, it's this interesting dynamic, right? If you can stick with me, maybe you're Aquarius, or Pluto in Aquarius has been making big shifts in your life. Maybe you know an Aquarius, or whatever the case may be. Aquarian frequency is going to be applicable to all of us now, because Age of Aquarius is the name of the game. And it's the fact that we are called to be of service for the highest and best good always. And that's considering the community, considering the collective. But sometimes that doesn't look like what you think it will. You know what I'm saying? For example, a parent, very Saturnian frequencies, right? Disciplining for the love of the longevity and the well-being of the child, so to speak. And sometimes Age of Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, these frequencies will be like, This makes me think of how I was talking about finding your tribe and soul families and being compassionate, but also practicing detachment at the same time. Sometimes people, sometimes endings, sometimes I can't do this anymore with my concrete 3D family, or I'm not going to live in this city anymore, and that means I'm leaving whole things behind. But sometimes you are actively still serving the highest and best good. Aquarius frequency says, it teaches us that we have to be honoring our individuality, our authenticity, because what are you really doing if you're showing up? It's very Age of Pisces to sacrifice everything of yourself. And mind you, imagine throwing a whole box of gifts away and just being like, well, I'll throw all these things about me away so that I can sacrifice. Very shadowed hangman energy, right? I'll just hang up my own self. Who cares? Because I was taught that that's how you serve others, and that's not anymore. So I'm just encouraging you to stay strong in your boundaries, honor what you've been called to leave and in fact, evolve from. Sometimes we don't have to. Maybe this is a message coming through, Just so many people in my own collective, my own friends, like in my own tribe, you know what I'm saying, are releasing a lot of things, evolving from a lot of things. I know the dream space has been wild. Just many stories. This is what happens when you work with people every single day, every week, every month, right? Every cycle. You're hearing the stories of the experiences in the collective. And it's time to go, but while you will still, how do we say, still very scorpionic, still very shadow work, still very healing. Sometimes the reclamation of yourself and coming into alignment with the highest vibration of authenticity that you're being called to honor right now, right? That is the best thing for the collective. So I love the energy. I appreciate all of you being here. I really just wanted to take the time to tap in with you guys. How are you sleeping? I feel like, shout out to air signs and fire signs, right? I feel like anytime I get around Gemini, especially in a full moon or a big placement, the sleep is a little more restless. I hear a lot of things, clairaudience. Maybe your clairs are going crazy right now with all this water coupled with getting closer to this full moon in Gemini. I know frequentially Sagittarius is very high vibrational, very galactic. Clairaudience, clair-knowing, clairsentience. I wouldn't be surprised if it's off the charts right now. I'd encourage you to try to write and journal things down, because I found that over the years, right now we have Sun in Sag, Venus is newly in Sag, Mars is in Sag. So if you've got big dominant, or even like, let's say your Mars is in a fire sign, but you may kind of feel like, okay, I'm kind of marking things off the list. I'm getting things going. I would encourage you to just hold a balance right now of maybe directing that beautiful, mutable fire sign energy in a way that's very fluid, as far as like, I'm hearing tie off the loose ends, clear your field. It's very easy to kind of fall into old patterns of, you sort of feel a refreshing after coming out of Scorpio season. It was very heavy, right? With still, again, heavy Scorpio frequency lingering, which is good. It makes me think of how I was doing a one-on-one reading, you guys, and we were talking about, excuse me, how Mercury did retrograde starting in Sag and then ending in Scorpio, still closing out that frequency. We got a little bit of post Mercury retrograde shadow, right? But I think it was Molly, actually, who was talking about Persephone and Hades and Mercury being the mercurial messenger who's fast moving enough where he can dip down and then come back up, and then dip down and come back up. And it's this beautiful pattern. And it's how we kind of deal with that duality all the time. So I think that was fascinating how she made that reference. But what I'm saying is, it can be easy to swing back into old patterns of, wow, oh goodness, like, man, I finally feel like, I don't know, like I get back to the gym, I have a little energy, I've got this checklist of to-dos, and you feel good, but I think sometimes Sagittarian shadow is like, and again, Venus and Sag, right? Like, well, I'll spend a bunch of money and I'll buy all the gifts. And before you know it, you kind of swung out of kilter and out of balance here. And instead of just focusing on completing the checklist, focusing on wrapping things up, focusing on being resourceful, Temperance card, Sagittarius energy is balance, like the alchemical work of opposites. But yeah, I would encourage you. You've got to follow your own path and listen to your own intuition at the end of the day, right? But with Mars and the Sun in Sag, are you going to feel good if you overcommit to every single invitation and plan? You go to every event. No, you're going to feel exhausted. When we're exhausted, sometimes we're not making the best judgment calls. We're not organized, I would definitely be mindful of spending. I mean, look, as a side note, you got to be with yourself, and we keep it pretty spiritual over here, but some of these placements, it should be easy to, what am I trying to say? To kind of do things that are like bypassing doing the harder work, doing the disciplined work. Whereas you could channel a lot of this beautiful, mutable energy of like, maybe I can be resourceful and make some gifts. Or I think I could probably let go like 2 or 3 of these commitments because I know that all of this galactic, beautiful energy on the board that we have access to, the higher stellar gateways, with Sagittarius. I could be maybe doing a little bit of schedule a spiritual bath, spend some time with myself. It's a good reminder to still be considerate of your sixth house. We're wrapping up a year of 9 that has been influenced by Virgo and the Hermit card all year. So it's good to kind of remember, okay, let me go back, let me regroup, let me refocus while I wrap up a lot of these cycles. Of course, by the Gregorian calendar year, we're getting to the end of the year. Of course, when we look at the wheel of the year and we're following the zodiac wheel and flowing with organic timing of Gaia, right? We're not quite so much ending the year yet, but it's however you want to look at it. Still consider being protective of your energy. A lot of the channeled messages that were coming through in private work was like, honor your no. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to just go in full on hermit mode for years, but I'm saying we're preparing for such big frequencies and changes and new timelines next year, especially in the spring, that we still want to stay focused. We still want to take advantage of some of these liquidation, these water, these we have a time to do a level of shadow work. To be honest with you, I don't do clickbait and I'm not dooming and hyping people, but you can change your life in these type of energies. And you can be looking at the next decade to come as being like, I never knew this is where I would be. I never knew that I could rebirth all this. And Spirit just wanted me to share this dream. Again, I hope you're all sleeping okay. It's been quite restless, especially for the last couple days. But I had a dream where, when you have a dream you're pregnant, it's always this. I mean, love and light. Some of y'all could still be in that place. I, however, am not. But for me, the subconscious, like the metaphor there, I was pregnant in this dream and it was like a very balmy, it was very Sagittarian, in this dream last night. It woke me up at like freaking 4 a.m. and I couldn't get back to sleep. And that's just how it is for me anyway, with Gemini frequencies. And then the mind is going, choo, 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 choo. But it felt so beautiful. I was near the ocean and we were going to go and check out. Y'all, I was like big pregnant too. But it makes sense to me with all of the beautiful rebirth energy that, on the flip side, it's funny because we've been talking about throw the baby out with the bathwater. But we had got an invitation to this history museum we had never seen. And so we were going to go out. It was kind of a very creepy vibe. All of a sudden, the mood really shifted when we drove out to this. Imagine like a scene, we're in the Southeast here in the Carolinas, and we got these big Spanish mossy oaks, and you're oh, honey, you got a special invitation out to the historical museum. You know what I'm saying? This was the vibe. So we get out there and the whole balmy, fun, unexpected adventure shifts and it gets really like dark feeling. It reminded me when we pulled up in this dream, it was like, it reminded me of how you walk outside on a summer day and a storm is about to come through. And in the Southeast here, it's a very like tropical climate and you can feel that pressure. You feel that change and then it's like winds are blowing through. I'm hearing, what is it, y'all? Winds in the east. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Who is that, Dick Van Dyke? Winds, a change coming, blowing through, or something. You know what I'm talking about, Mary Poppins? It felt like that when we got out of the vehicle and it was like we went in and no one else is there, which is interesting for me in a dream space. It's like if I go from a place where the energy shifts and no one is there, I'm kind of beyond the veil at that point. And we go in, again, still no one is there. There's beautiful art, all these antiques. And it was like this whole long driveway. You know what I'm talking about? These mossy Spanish oaks. It was giving very, what would it be? Some kind of Anne Rice vibes. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And we came there. No one is there. Down this long driveway, we get out. The wind is blowing. It's very creepy, very dense, very thick. We go in, and this lady, very crone, very like, I don't know, Callie or something. I'm messing up her name, but it was a very crone woman. She was kind of stumped over, and she was like, "You've been invited to this special opening. There's some art." She wanted to show me some art, and he's looking at me. He's like, "I don't think you should go back there." So I go back there. Of course, listen, it's always a theme with me and dreams. We joke about it. I'm going to do it anyway. Thank goodness. Thank you so much to my ancestors and spirit team, me and my higher self. You know, I'm protected in my dreams. I'm protected on the astral realms. I'm so thankful for that. Let me just say, because I'm going to go ahead and start taking out our Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle, and we're going to pull a card. I've really been enjoying using this. And some personals too. Well, you know, we love our Seasons of the Witch Oracle over here. So of course I went back, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to stay out here." And I go, and I'm kind of like rubbing my belly. You know how you do? And I was like feeling uneasy, but I got to see curiosity, you know, my Aquarius self. I had to go back and see. So this crone lady, she's got like this cane and everything, and she's like, "Yes, yes, oh dearie," you know what I'm talking about? It was giving very like, is she gonna hand me a poison apple? So okay, mind you, I'm still telling you about this dream because spirit wants me to share. So okay, it's giving like Biltmore House. You know how like they'll have a velvet rope, and they'll take off the velvet and click it. And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to let you. It's a special invitation just for you." And she takes the thing off the click. The click was like so loud. And it makes me think of like Hecate and like a crossroads moment. So we go back there, and I'm like, whoa, it's like this crazy old art. It kind of reminds me of like the art in Harry Potter, where like the hallway shifted, and like you never knew if a picture or painting was just going to get up and move and start talking to you. So it was amazing. And you know how it is. We're in the dimensionalities here in the Earth School, the Earth planes, where it is duality all the time. And so I was drawn, even though it felt very dark. And, you know, that's just how it is sometimes. Light and dark both, you know what I'm saying? And we honor them both here. But so I go in, and I'm just in awe, but I'm really creeped out, you know what I mean? At the same time. Now I'm seeing the, what you call it, at Disney's Haunted Mansion. Oh, yeah, that was the vibes. You know, when you get in the room and it's like, oh, we can't get out, and all the weird things start happening. Whew. So she's takes me over to show me this huge painting. It's like from the floor to the ceiling almost. It was so bizarre. It was very what do you say, depth perception disorienting. It felt like an optical illusion. And I recognized the face, and well, you know, without sharing my private information, this is a person's face that has caused me a lot of damage and emotional trauma. And child, when I tell you so much damn grief, but the person looks so different. Very skinny, very frail, very like, ooh, very, I'm hearing Nosferatu. Ooh, child, not them vampires. Okay, we rebuke that and return it to the sender. But that's what it felt like. And then all of a sudden, she's like taps. What was she? No, she was like, as I was seeing it grow bigger, she was pulling it, this curtain, to reveal it. And it kept like the room felt like it was getting smaller and the picture was getting bigger. It was like a perception, a distortion of perception, which it can easily happen in these Neptunian, Piscean vibrations we're in right now, because we've got to be able to trust our intuition, as I should have. Child, I should have exited that room. Ooh, when I heard that click, the way the click sounded like, ooh, you should not pass, you know, but I went in. So as the curtain's drawing back, and it's, you know, this whole perception, all this distortion and illusion, the picture starts moving, and it clicks in my mind who that face is. And I'm like, oh no, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know how you have a jump scare, and it was like, rah! I don't even know, y'all. A screech? I don't know. a pterodactyl. I don't know what the sound was, but I was like, because then the picture was starting to crawl out. And so I knew I got to exit this room. And like the crone lady was just, ha, 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 like in the background. Oh my Lord. So listen, fast forward. I get out of the room and all these things are coming out of the pictures in the room like clawing, but they can't move fast. And it kind of reminded me when I reflected on the dream. So like I exit the room, I exit the building. He's out there. We're going, we're moving as quick. I got this big belly. I'm protecting my birth. So we're just saying protection of the womb. Yeah, of all these, Piscean dreams that have yet to be birthed. This is how it felt metaphorically. And we got out, but as we were, it was very Sodom and Gomorrah, you know what I'm saying? We're not religious over here, but we know the stories, like don't look back, because all of these figures were just desperately, and it was all this screeching. The building is this archaic museum, and these mossy oaks is trying to fall down. All these creatures are trying to get out. And it made me just think of like collapsing timelines, hungry, energetic vampirism, protecting the womb, all these dreams, all this birth. Pisces at the same time is the dissolution of the end of the zodiac wheel. It is throw the baby out with the bathwater's hell. Let's flood that whole museum out. Ooh, love and light. We're speaking about floods, but may all people be safe, as the earth goes through her own changes and shifts, love and light. But yeah, it was giving very like, if you don't get out of these rooms, if you don't deny access, if you don't pay attention, like at these crossroads, you're gonna go down with some of these rooms. And the fact is that everything in those rooms was dead. There was nothing alive. The Kaliich, or the maiden, the crone mother spirit. I mean, she's beyond time. She can go between. But it's giving like, and that's wild because he's a Sagittarius and he was freeing me from these old beliefs, and what started as feeling like an adventure became very shadowed. And anyway, this dream was just, friend, it was wild. It was wild. It makes me think about Venus being in Sag and being intimate with things that make us uncomfortable, but it's like trying to decide who am I, what am I saying? Venus kind of helps us reprioritize what it is that we value and what's important to us. Uranus and Taurus, it was very like the earth is moving under your feet and all of these timelines are flooding. You've got to understand whose hand are you going to grab? Where are you going on the next adventure? Or even this odd like Black Moon, Lilith, and Scorpio versus Venus and Sag, like shape-shifting. I'm hearing, who do you love? What is that? Who do you love? I'm hearing, what is magnetizing you? Is it beautiful or is it actually really dead inside? I don't know. This is the energy, that this dream was giving. Man, why am I getting so much Venus and Sag? You know what? I think Venus is, it's really funny that we're talking about this because was it Molly McCord? Once again, she was talking about, it made me remember, do you remember, was this earlier this year or last year? Someone will probably remember, but I kept saying Pluto pinball. But now it's like Sun and Sagittarius pinball. And Sagittarius is going through all of these different types of squares and hitting up these big movements during Sagittarius season. And it's almost like, I know that Venus and Pluto sextiled. Is that today? Venus-Pluto sextile. Surface, going deeper than the surface level. That's really interesting. I know one that was on my radar was Venus and Sag will make like this big perfect square with Saturn and Pisces. And it's all about like, oh my gosh, this is so the dream, right? The energy that we will work our way up to the winter solstice. That's when this big square is going to happen between Venus and Sag and Saturn and Pisces, is that a lot of these fears, a lot of these, I don't know. To be honest, it makes sense because I was going to say messy, but the dream felt messy. Because number one, why did I go in there? You know what I mean? Curiosity killed the what? Ooh, I choose life. I don't know. Like, why were we even still in those old rooms? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's something about idealizing things, but it's a fantasy. It's not real. And if you can't really sit in these water trines and do the work, self-reflective, evolutionary, alchemical, if you're choosing not to, we don't say we can't, because we always can. It's just a choice. And some things may take more work for some people, but you can, right? It's a choice of if you're ignoring insecurities, if you're ignoring fears, if you're ignoring shames, you know what I mean? If you're just ignoring your own authenticity and saying it's okay for me to be vulnerable. Venus and Sag is like hella authentic, right? What do you value, and how are you re-anchoring, right? Uranus and Taurus, how are you re-anchoring into those values now? What are you bonding with? Are you being honest with yourself? What you value and how you show up and relate to others and relate to the beautiful earth, right? Venusian, very Taurian. And where is your identity in the midst of all that? So, wow, what a crazy dream. Okay, shout out to you guys if you're having a crazy dream space. But I love to reflect on dreams when they feel super big and deep like that, because there's so much relevance in them if you can sit with them. So obviously Venus moving from Scorpio to Sag is speaking a lot today. Sagittarius energy, Mars and the Sun and Sag are saying, okay, like, hear me out. You're in it, but it's something like you don't have to be of it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like I'm seeing someone going in knowing they have to clean a house. I'm hearing maybe you got the full hazmat dress up on, right? I know I got to go in and clean up. I have to do it. I got to clean out the rooms. I'm seeing someone going back through an abandoned house and shining lights. Maybe you're not staying in that house, Spirit is saying. Maybe it's a reclamation. Remember how that kept coming through in October? Yes, the girl went up the stairs to the attic and she put in her skeleton key. That's crazy, because me and a friend the other day were talking about skeleton keys and bones. But remember in October, and we were channeling, she had a lantern and she was shining on that old shelf and she was reaching up to get something. This reminds me of that. You may be in it, but you're not of it, okay? But then it's also something here about knowing when is the time to get. I'm hearing, get out. Oh my gosh, wasn't that a movie? Ooh, that's scary. Get out, because you don't want to be stuck. And I'm hearing, what am I hearing? It's like a carousel, but it's broken, like, or is that a Jack in the Box? Ooh, child. Either way, get up. Now I'm hearing that again. Get up out of it. Get up out of it. That's very Sag. That's very Mars and Sag saying. It's almost like you've got a golden cord. Okay, Spirit. So is it spelunking? Now I'm seeing Batman. Y'all stay with me, where you drop down into the cave because you got to do that dark work and face your fears. But you're not going to stay in there. You're tied off. It's very Sagittarian. It's very Aquarius. Keep your north. Keep your true north, because you're going to come back up out of it. Okay. Do you get what I'm saying? So I love this energy, but it is also clear in this energy and with a lot of the collective astrology that the fact is not to avoid it completely. You know what I mean? You got to do the work. And love and light, as much as we love people and as much as things are messy, shit, I'm looking for nice terms, y'all, but the cold hard truth, which any Aquarian will tell you, we sit down right in front of you, and that's how you know we love you, Aquarian, if we sitting here telling you some cold hard truth. Because, honey, love and light, if we didn't care, we wouldn't be speaking. That's just how it is. And it's not nothing mean, but it's almost like the cold, hard truth is that if you have things and you refuse to address them and you wrap up this massive water cycle, and we're going to be working it through December, we're going to be working it through Capricorn season. I think towards the end of Aquarius season is when things are really going to start shifting. But what I'm trying to say is we still in it. We have so many. We have so many. We have so many. Spirits like keep saying it. We have so many opportunities to address things right now, and I do feel empathy, but I'm not going to stay attached to things, people, places, situations. Spirit will move us where we need to be, and that's just what it is. We can't be hanging on to stuff that we refuse to address. I mean, love and light is free will. You know what I mean? It always is. But the truth is that souls and contracts and situations and frequencies, they devolve as well because free will is a thing. And yeah, it's just how the liquidation frequencies are right now. So, whew, what a dream. Meanwhile, 40 minutes felt like only 20 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Maybe you guys are also having wild dreams. And again, please journal those. And I'm not saying, honey, look, learn how to journal your dreams, love and light. If you love to write, by all means do. It's wonderful. It's cathartic. It is healing because you can reflect. And sometimes you even tap into like an automatic writing space, and your higher self, you might surprise yourself, will start speaking to you. Write your dreams down, but you can just make important notes. You can hit the high points. You can write things that really stood out to you, like, whoa, that belly was real big pregnant, or, Crone, or like flood. I mean, love and light. Again, I don't, love and light to all people who are dealing with cataclysmic earth events at this time. The earth is also a sentient being, and she's going through a lot too, as well as the sun. And Lord knows, honey, don't make me hit you with that Appalachia, okay? Lord knows. The creeks, they rose on us last year, you know what I mean? Fall of 2024. Who would have thought September and October we would have been cleaning up from torrential flooding? Who would have thought? So we don't wish that on anyone, and we send love and light to everyone, right? But such as it is a liquidation time en masse, Spirit is saying. So it's really important. What is it? Know who's in your boat. Oh, what was coming through? Do you ever have songs or movies or themes, and it's so wild when you are walking in the embodiment of your own co-creative reality, right? And you don't have to be perfect to do that. You are just practicing awareness. You're noticing synchronicities. You understand that you are a manifestor. You are the magician, right? Or the high priestess. But when you're walking in that activated, Spirit is saying activated way of living, you'll see that, right? So one of the loops that's been going on recently is, I've shared it here, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka and all that. And I was thinking about the other flip side of being at that aneretic degree of Neptune at the 29th degree in Pisces, getting ready again, finally, to close up 165 years of a journey with spirit, with creativity, with occulted wisdom, with rituals, with psychic intuitive gifts, and how we're about to really evolve when Neptune starts this new cycle in Aries. I'm telling you. I want to say that is that at the end of Aquarius season? I don't remember the exact date, but everywhere lately this song has been. What was the part that we were tapped into? Oh yeah, on the boat, we need a bigger boat, was no one really knowing, do 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 where it is we are going, and he's just sitting there smiling on the boat, and everybody's like, where the hell are we going? Because it's like that right now. But the other song that has just been wildly, like, you can't even explain. How is it on the radio? Was someone just whistling that? Is she watching that on a YouTube video sitting beside me? But this whole, come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. What is it? What is it, y'all? Shoot, I don't remember all. It's like, if you want to see, what is it, y'all? Paradise. Simply look around and view it. It's like, if you want to change the world, there's nothing to it. You know what I'm talking about? Na, 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 na. And it's been everywhere. And I was walking the dogs last night, and I was thinking, just about how that is also the frequency of Pisces rebirth, because I was so big pregnant in this dream, y'all. And it's like the beautiful potentiality of all potentialities. You know what I'm saying? Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. It was all of that. That whole there's nothing to it, right? Come with me and you'll be. And it's talking about there's no better way to live than in a world of pure imagination, you know? And it was just all of the potentialities to rebirth all these new timelines. And it was very powerful. But it really depends on, as the song teaches you, if you listen, it depends on how you view it, right? Are you looking for paradise? Are you looking to be creative? Are you looking for solutions? What are you looking for? Because that's what you will continue to rebirth more of. So that's kind of a song that's been coming up a lot. A world of pure imagination. Okay, let's get a Yule Oracle card and see what the Seasons of the Witch message will be for us today, collective. I hope you are grounding. I hope you are practicing good spiritual hygiene, having your house in order, being mindful. Spirit is saying of habits you don't want to keep repeating, okay? I keep drawing Eight of Pentacles. It's actually sitting back there on this deck because I do, like, I'll draw cards for the month and I didn't get to finish them. And I'm staring at the Eight of Pentacles, which is like my Mirakai, Mirakesh. You know, you really got to put your soul into it. What is it? If you want to change the world, there's nothing to it. And it's about how the Eight of Pentacles is you dedicate yourself to anything, and it's not about perfection. It's just about the experience of the journey and the work that you put into it. It's interesting. Y'all, I wish y'all could have been in this dream, though. I ain't even gonna lie. It was really fucking creepy. But that's all right. I understand it. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Okay, there's two cards. Spirit says we're going to read both of them, okay? So the first card, look at that. Into the unknown, right? Look at that. Look at that dark moon. Okay, so perhaps the ending of this lunar cycle is going to be really impactful. Listen to this, because you cannot make this up, y'all. Listen. Think on it, and you will stumble. For the heart is a ghost upon the unknown. Let it bleed into the depths, bearing nothing but desire. Interesting. I'm so curious to see what this message will say. Number 41. Ooh, is it the last one? Oh, yeah. Finality and close. No, I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. It's close to the end, though. It says potential, creativity, and risk. Yeah, ain't nothing like risk being in a big old boat at the dipping point of going into the abyss, into the unknown, right? If that ain't risk, I don't know what is. Hello, collective. The unknown is wide open to you now. And pulling this card is a sign that your creative power and ability to manifest your dreams is growing. Take advantage of this unusual period of support and abundance. Remember, Uranus and Taurus too, Venus and Sag. Who knows what adventure is going to bring you to that abundance? Who knows where you're going to find beautiful blessings of all the things that you value, but maybe in the most unlikely places, right? Take advantage of this unusual period of support and abundance. Visualize all of your deepest desires and greatest wishes. Be the master of your canvas and paint the image of your dreams. Will you dare to entertain your biggest goal? Remember, we talked about in the beginning of this video, the name of the game in the age of Aquarius of successful soul groupings and reconnections, collaborations, co-creativity is that you got to show up on the board refreshed and renewed. You got to show up authentic. Like, I don't even to look. If something calls you and it's requiring for you to abandon your authenticity and to, I'm hearing it's like dishonor yourself and everything that you've done, that ain't for you, honey. I'm going to tell you right now. That ain't for you. That's not the age we're in anymore. It's just not. Be the master of your canvas and paint the image of your dreams. Will you dare to entertain your biggest goals? The unknown requires you to be willing to take a risk. What you want cannot be achieved from a place of comfort or in doing what you already know with significant. So this could be like, am I crazy? I just want to start a whole new career. Honey, I dare say, now don't swing over into that shadow energy. We don't want to be like, am I crazy? I just feel like I'm going to max out my credit card. No, am I crazy? I just feel like I'm going to reach out to that old person. Look, this is a collective reading, so I can't tell you individually. I would love to book a reading with you. But listen, what I'm saying is this dream crazy? Am I really going to move out to this new place? Am I really about to start this? Maybe you've been pursuing a degree, or maybe, again, I'm about to complete these spiritual classes next year. Am I crazy? Do I want to be a Reiki facilitator or something? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be this. It could be anything. We all have individual, unique soul contracts, right? But listen to that, okay? What you want cannot be achieved from a place of comfort or in doing what you already know. With significant risk comes great rewards. Now, taking a risk does not mean we go into the shadow side of chaos where we're just cray-cray. We are in a Virgo year, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's balance and harmony. Hello, temperance card. But you get what I'm saying, okay? Do not be afraid to fail. I'm sorry, unknown. The unknown says now is a time to take a leap of faith. Perhaps that leap of faith looks like, I just got to let all that shit go. That is a leap of faith. I have to let that version of myself die. I have to release all those fears and that shame. I have to. That's a risk, you know? Do not be afraid to fail. Even failure has values and lessons that will help you grow. Be bold and willing to go against conformity for the sake of freedom and divine alignment with your soul's purpose. Child, North Node in Pisces. You cannot make that up. Sun in Aquarius. Alignment. Alignment and flow. Being open to receive, right? What was it my friend said the other day? She was channeling a reading. She's a Taurus, so she's always making earth references. My North Node's in Taurus, so we'll be earthy and crunchy over here. But she was saying something about, you don't never see the leaves fighting, you know. I don't want to fall off the tree. No, what a world. You know what I mean? They're not fighting. They just let go. And then when you see them, like, they fall in the creek bed or they fall in the river, they're not trying to, like, backwards flow and fight the current. They just go with it. And everything organically finds its way. And it's beautiful and it's perfect. All is well, right? It's not a white knuckling time. It's not a, oh, fight that shit. It's not. You know what I mean? That's just not what it is. I would dare say, and again, it's a collective reading. Take it as you will. And you got to follow your own intuition, okay? Everything is not always going to be for you. Love and light, honey. But listen. This is pretty widely applicable. I'm not saying some commitments aren't worth fighting for. For example, if I started to pursue new medical degrees and certifications and such like myself, that's worth fighting for. I committed to that. I'm going to see it through. But I'm talking about, like, if things are repetitively showing up and we've been at this for years, or I've been fighting with this job for years. It's fighting. It's so hard. It shouldn't be like that. You might want to pay attention to those things, okay, and say, why am I, is this really fucking my alignment up? Is this really where it's at? Is this really giving, as the kids would say? Divine alignment with soul purpose, okay? Now, I love that we also have a merriment card. It's beautiful, it's joyous, it's Sagittarius, it's get up out of it, right? This makes me think of St. Lucia and Imbolg season. Well, different people observe that in different ways, so however you take that. But this makes me think of Imbolg. Again, something there about Aquarius season is big. It's come up in other readings too, so pay attention if you resonate with that. 2 + 1, 21, that also equals a 3, which is giving balance, harmony, and completion, right? We are in a 369 year. What joy, what glee beams from the sounds of voices. This could be energetic healing through sound. Uplifting the webs of sorrow, glimmering as if no tomorrow. This could be doing candle work to reinforce the dreams that you have. Okay, let's go to number 21, and we'll We might, child. I don't know. We probably wrap it up there. I just passed a cardinal. Maybe someone sees cardinals. I know I do, as a sign that your ancestors are protecting you and following with you. It says kindness and, again, following your soul. I know you see it. You never know what tomorrow holds. Our ancestors were very aware of day-to-day dangers. A hunting trip could go wrong, or disease could wipe out an entire village. Perhaps that is why celebrations were such grand affairs. They were reminders to enjoy life when you can. Which, hello, have you met a Sagittarius? They would tell you. I know one thing we gonna do. We gonna laugh. We gonna make a jokey joke, and we gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna find an adventure. We're gonna have a good time. You know what I mean? Please, just, I feel like urging, we got to be mindful of our pockets. But all of those things do not always reside in the world of spending a bunch of money. You understand, abundance and celebration and joyous festivity doesn't always, it's not only that, right? Okay. That's come through multiple times. So maybe your Virgo 6th house work a lot this year for someone out there has been dealing with finances. We've been in deep scorpionic energy, which, to be honest with you, has to deal with debts being collected on, debts owed. What has power and control over you? Maybe that's just coming through for someone. But perhaps that is why excuse me, celebrations were such grand affairs. They were reminders to enjoy life when you could. What our ancestors didn't have are the opportunities we have today. It's never been easier to seek a higher education. That's coming through again. Maybe someone else is pursuing that. To seek starting your own business, or to move to a faraway place. Again, very Sagittarian. Imagine what our ancestors would have done if so many paths of success and joy were available to them. This card guides you to act on the things that bring you joy. Start a business if that aligns with your soul, or switch careers, sign up for vocal training, retire early, spend more time with your family. Merriment has come to you because your soul is yearning for more moments of happiness that you are not getting in your current position. Yes. Wow, you guys. Ooh, you know what I feel drawn to? Let's do it. Ooh, child. 56. Did I say 56 minutes? Ooh, beautiful. What do they call it? Super 7? This could be chakra healing someone's focusing on. Circulating light and healing energy. Perhaps like a soft lavender ray going through your chakras. That's coming through. Excuse me when I, maybe someone sees white feathers. We were just talking about ancestors. I forgot I left this card on the top of the deck, the Guardian Angel card. You are not alone. Wow. I'm getting a lot of galactic energy off that too, because that's Metatron back there. The Merkaba is in the background. Wow. So maybe someone sees white feathers. I literally, you know, me and my feathers. Look, just the other day. Look at that. I got a white feather sitting right up here. Maybe that's confirmation of a spirit message for someone. Okay, spirit. So you're saying an angel and ancestors oracle card. Okay. You are real ride or die. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much, soul family. You have no idea. Oftentimes I feel very orphaned, and I have quite a story, you know, of my life, but I'm thankful for it. But my soul family is really important to me, so thanks for being here. Oop, this one kind of wanted to stick in my hand. We're going to go with this one. What do we have, spirit? Look at this. Wise one. Another feather. You see the feathers? Okay. Owl, Hecate, right here. Still with us. Wise one. Grow within your current situation. Okay. Let's read and see what we have there. A child, hold on. What? Oh, yeah, these aren't numbered. Oh, Lord. Sometimes I struggle with the way certain oracle decks are. If you know, you know. You'll be flipping through that. Look, I think this one has a table of contents, you guys. Child. Here we go. Okay, page 90. We gonna get there, friend. No? Hold on. Okay, here we are. My left ear is ringing super loud. Okay, so I don't know, ancestral spirit is feeling really strong now. Maybe you're close to an ancestor. You have an ancestor altar that's maybe still out. Ancestral frequency is coming through really strong. Grow within your current situation. Knuckle down. Be reliable and committed. Be open to wisdom and insight from your elders. The wise one represents the wisest aspect of the goddess, the crone. That's funny because she was in my dream, and I ain't gonna lie, she was very creepy. But she wasn't locked down by none of that. I got this impression that none of that was going to hurt her, And I mentioned that she had this crone energy. That's interesting because here is the crone again. In paganism and modern Wicca, the crone is the fiercest, most psychic, and most aware aspect of the goddess because she has been through many of life's challenges and overcome many setbacks. On this card, the raven in her hands represents the capacity to overcome the darker times and be reborn again and again, much like what we are going through now as a collective. So she helps you to tap into wisdom and overcome whatever life throws at you. Wisdom being the information stored in your soul rather than the knowledge acquired in this lifetime. And to learn from the experience of your elders. That's interesting from both cards that's coming through. The wisdom of the wise one is based on something that the younger generation is often lacking: commitment and reliability. When this card appears, you are being guided to continue working on your growth and expansion within your current situation. Be committed to your tasks and projects. It can be very easy to get bored or overwhelmed, but persevere. You are being reminded of how it feels to be let down and experience unreliability. It is not who you were born to be, so keep working on what you're working on because it's going to be extremely beneficial for you in the long run. All right, collective, soul family, thank you for being here. This is the energy that I have to share with you guys today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Take good care of yourself, okay? Have your good boundaries. Drink water, stay grounded out there, okay? I look forward to connecting with you in the full moon energy. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Love you. Bye.